Hello, Patreons. It's I, Captain Logan. It's time for another exciting hour-long Patreon chat with me, Captain Logan, as aforementioned. Let's go ahead and introduce this evening's patron panelists, shall we? It's Blue Ranger Joe.
Hey.
And Happenin' Hat Jeffrey.
Star Wars.
See, that's what you can get away with that kind of thing because you can't copyright titles. It's fantastic. So wait, did Wilco make an album called Star Wars? Is that what that is?
Yes.
That's awesome.
And Star Wars is just the name of the cat.
The cat is called Star Wars. And DJ.
Hey, what's up?
DJ. And Driving Mad Connor will be with us soon, but currently he's driving mad again, as aforementioned. No, when you mentioned the cat named Star Wars, I was reminded of a non-existent pet. My son, before we got our dog, actually a couple of years before we ever decided to get a pet, Jason said, if we ever have a dog, I want to name him Super Nintendo. And I kind of considered that. Did I accidentally post this Hangout as live? Because we have 4 viewers right now, and that makes me think this is live. And it's not supposed to be, but
on YouTube there was a thing saying it was live.
Oh man, it's not supposed to be, and I remember distinctly toggling it unlisted. But whatever. So I'm not going to fix it because that would require us to stop the broadcast, I imagine.
They're secrets.
So if you're watching live right now on the main channel, hi there. Thanks for tuning in to this month's Patreon Hangout. And or I should say one of this month's Patreon Hangouts, because we're a little behind on these still, so we got to play catch up and do a couple more of these. So anyway, hi Connor. Hi Driving Mad Connor.
Hello.
How you doing, buddy? It's good to see you.
Doing very well. How are you guys doing?
Okay, well, let me address the regular audience again for a minute. First of all, let me apologize for my horrible washed-out face. I should have just left the Spawn you're lighting from the Batman you're lighting from earlier, I guess, because I was late, and then I turned everything on, and I was like, this makes me look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, but okay. And anyway, so that's what we're doing. Usually we don't broadcast these live, but I either forgot to toggle it as unlisted or there was some kind of a technical glitch or something. So there you go. Bonus video for you folks. That was not at all intended. And this will be the second live show on the channel today. That's some kind of record. Anyway, so what we do, but this will be a nice sample for the regular viewers to give you a sense of what we do if you haven't watched one of these before, because we broadcast a couple of these live. And if you want to come hang out with us once a month or sometimes more if we get behind, you can pledge just a couple bucks a month, and that gives you access to this and Geekvolution After Dark and other fun things that we do on Patreon. We have a lot of fun on Patreon. Patreon's great, right? Right, patrons? Yeah, thanks for that ringing endorsement, patrons. Really appreciate it. All right,
the best.
So, now that lengthy and somewhat awkward preamble is over with, we now move on to whatever these folks would like to discuss this evening. So I hope you guys came armed with topics, and if not, we'll just stare at each other ominously and awkwardly for the duration for the next 53 minutes. Let's start with Connor. It's good to see you, Connor.
Howdy.
What would you like to discuss this evening?
No, so what I would like to do is I would like to talk about. Are y'all familiar with the Mandela effect?
Yeah.
Where you misremember things.
Did you watch that X-Files episode, that really bizarre X-Files episode? Is that why you're bringing this up?
Oh, no, I don't watch the X-Files. I watch Twin Peaks. So, no, what happened was...
I know that. But one second. But I have to mention that they did an episode about that just last week, and it was bizarre and awful. But I just wanted to ask you if you saw that, and that's why you brought that up.
No, what a coincidence. I have actually, last October when I was binging Spawn Year again, I had this crazy like Mandela effect thing where like several things specifically I remembered happening differently. Like when you and Violators sing "I've Had the Time of My Life," when you like go and you break down the Spawn comic page by page, I thought that happened like in the graveyard and not post graveyard. And then I thought that when you do the funny gag where it's like, oh my gosh, this alleyway just loops back around and it's just you walking across the screen several times. I thought that was like second day of US Captain Spawn, but that's not the case. It's really late into like after episode 300, so it was crazy. So my topic for the audiences, for the panel is, what are Mandela effects that you have or at least remember having?
Man, I can die happy now. I have caused the Mandela effect for someone. Yeah, somebody jump in.
Remind me again what the Mandela effect is in the exact. Because I might have the Mandela effect on the Mandela effect.
You thought Mandela died in the 80s?
Go ahead, Connor. This is your topic, buddy.
I thought he died in 19...
So it comes, like, the Mandela effect comes from, like, the Nelson Mandela, where there was, like, some people thought he had died in the 80s, but he was still alive. And a lot of people now talk about how, like, Berenstain Bears and Berenstein Bears, or whatever the spelling of that, like, people remember it differently than it actually is. And that's really kind of what it is. Like, you specifically remember things happening a different way than the way they really happen. And it's kind of talking about how unreliable your memory actually is. It's some Blade Runner stuff, but I think it's really interesting.
I kind of got one. I remember I was rewatching the Harry Potter movies, and I've always remembered Hagrid showing up at the house on the island very differently than what it was. I remember him just simply bursting through the door like Kool-Aid Man instead of like pounding on the doors a few times and then coming in.
Cool. I have one from Spider-Man, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. And this is weird, Cap, because this is way before I even heard about you and your big problem with him making the suit. But I distinctly remember in theaters, like I can see it still, the montage where he's drawing a suit and doing all that stuff. I distinctly remember scenes of him sewing, like in that montage of him making the suit.
Weird.
And it's so weird because every time I watch it, it's like there's stuff missing. It's really weird.
We didn't even know that was one of Peter Parker's abilities.
Yeah.
He's amazing at sewing. We've got somebody else in the call right now, and I do not want to mispronounce your name, sir. So introduce yourself.
It's okay. Sorry, guys. I was trying to figure out how to join in with this.
Yeah, no problem, man. Good to see you.
My name's Jaira.
Jaira, thanks for being here, man.
Good to be here with you guys.
And folks, we do still have a few spots left. The call will take 10. So again, since we have accidentally broadcast this to the regular audience, if you want to become a patron right now, this moment, and then I see the link for the call, you are welcome to do that. It's just a couple bucks a month, and you can pledge and pop in, and maybe just do that just 1 month if you want to, just come hang out with us. Yeah, so the one, and I've talked about this on the channel before. My big one is I distinctly remember there being a setup payoff in the theater in First Contact for Worf saying today is a good day to die. When you go back and watch First Contact, his delivery there, his inflection makes it sound like there's a scene missing, like he's calling back to something he said earlier. Oh, perhaps today is a good day to die. You're like, well, you never talked about it being a good day to die. You really emphasized is real hard, as if you did. I remember distinctly there being a scene before that where he says today is not a good day to die. That is nowhere in that movie. And I don't know if there was like an extra scene that was in the theatrical version. They changed it later, but I suspect not. I suspect that's not what happened. Does anybody else have one of those? That's a good topic, Connor.
Oh, thank you.
Let's see what DJ has in store for us this evening. And we'll see if it's related to an X-Files episode he didn't see.
I don't know. Everything that I want to talk to you about right now is not like particularly geeky at all, and now I feel self-conscious because it's on the main channel.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry about that, but that's okay. We can talk about anything we want to here. I should say, since it is main channel, we should probably curb swearing. I sorry about that. But whatever you want to talk about though, DJ, it doesn't have to necessarily be geeky. We may not spend as much time on it.
Probably not. Probably no one is going to care about this, but you for maybe 5 seconds. So
I'm excited. You sure know how to butter a guy up.
I actually, we're having a baby this year.
Oh wow! Congratulations, man.
Congratulations.
Yeah, probably around the same time as Carrie or.
Oh, that's really cool. Carrie and Michael.
But yeah,
one of those.
In August, he's going to be born, and I am very interested in getting him to be able to read as early as possible. And I know you got Jason to read super early, and I was just wondering.
Freddie as well. In fact, Freddie read it even a little bit earlier than Jason did.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, I'm just curious what method you use, or did you just start reading and letting them read, or did you have a program or anything?
Yeah, no, this is a really cool question. So despite the fact that these people, and I don't know if they were able to bring it back or not, I haven't gone back and looked, but despite the fact that the Your Baby Can Read people got like sandblasted for their method not working, and I think they got sued and they had to shut down everything. Worked really well for us. I don't know what we're really talking about. Yeah, that's what we used. We got the DVDs and stuff for that, and it was. I mean, I'm sure it's not the same for everybody, but it was very helpful for us. You play these DVDs. There's 4 of them. They're at different levels, so like you play the early one before the kid is even really especially conscious and aware, and you play it twice a day, and then eventually as the kid gets older, you go to the more intermediate discs, and by intermediate I just mean because they're not intermediate at all, but they're a little bit more complex than the previous discs. I'm getting some feedback. I'm going to turn my gain down a little bit. But anyway, so that was very helpful. I don't know how much that had to do with it. I suspect it's foundational. I suspect it's the beginning of it. And then after that, it's just fostering the environment. It's just have books everywhere. My kids were, as I suspect most kids are, just naturally curious and wanted to learn everything they could learn. And so they saw it like it's fostering the environment, but it's also like setting the example, right? So I wasn't constantly trying to teach them how to read. They did almost all of that on their own. It was simply, they saw my wife and I reading all the time. We certainly did read to them, but it wasn't like we spent hours every day doing that. It was mostly just fostering the environment and just making it the kind of environment where we read books and literature is important and intellectual things are important.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Interesting. I'll definitely check that out.
But good luck to you on it, man.
Yeah, hopefully it works. I was really into reading when I was little, and I kind of fell out of it as I got older, and I'm trying to really drill it back into me so I can set a good example. So
it'll be really cool to see how close our kids end up being born together. Mine, Sarah's supposed to deliver toward the end of July.
Oh wow! But
she's always been late, so it's probably going to be closer to August, but I don't think we'll get into August. There's no chance of he or she being born on my birthday. There's no chance of it, which is unfortunate. But my birthday's on the 12th, and we're just not going to get that. They will insist on inducing before we get there. So
my kid might be born on your birthday. Our due date's August 18th. So
cool. Yeah. So if your wife delivers early, then and this is your first, right? So
yes, definitely.
Yeah, so you have no way to know if you're likely to have to induce or if it'll be early or anything like that.
Yeah, no idea.
Cool. Well, congrats, man.
Thanks. Pretty crazy.
I imagine you're stoked and on pins and needles, just as I was.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. But,
congratulations, DJ.
Thanks, Connor.
Keep it surprised, buddy. That's awesome. Jeffrey, what would you like to discuss this evening? Fancy Hat Man.
It's not that fancy. I got one thing I need to get out of the way. I thought I could do it earlier but without it being on the whole channel, but
I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry.
Can you guess what this is?
that is the new Giants album. Did you get it signed?
Yes, I
What?
did.
That's not okay.
Sorcery!
Where did you do that?
I can't tell you.
What? Why can't you tell me?
I can't tell you.
I don't know what that means. This is the most cryptic thing I've ever seen now.
There are 2 Coopers.
I still don't know what's going on.
No one does.
Nope.
All
I'm
right,
sort of
Jeffrey.
getting an echo.
Yeah, I was too. So you went to a show, I'm assuming.
I did, but I did not get it with. It is a little fan club they run.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Is that echo from me?
I can't tell. I think maybe so. Yeah, see if you can turn down your gain or something.
I only have this plugged directly into mine, and it only just appeared, so I'm not.
Oh, weird.
Sure.
I don't know. I've been echoing quite a bit this whole time, but with so many technical glitches we have on Google Plus, I'm used to it by now.
I'm used to it too. Anyway, so my topic, if I can find one.
Well, real quick before you do that, but I gotta ask you real quick before you do that. So what is it? What does it take to get in that club? Because I didn't even know about that.
Are you aware of their? Well, I feel kind of weird saying this because they're not aware of the channel, right?
Well, I don't think so. Why? Is it? Should we talk about this later?
There's an oath of secrecy involved.
Oh, okay, well that's cool.
And I'm not sure if it's serious. Because I know no one else involved with it, and I thought you might be.
Well, I'll talk to you about it later because
it's a blood path.
The idea of you in a blood pack Team EG club that I'm not in is just unfathomable and unconscionable to me. I can't have that. So I can't have that. So we'll talk about it later. And if I can't get you to tell me about it, I'll just figure out where you live and fly there. That's my whole plan.
Did you say murder me? That sounded like a weird way of saying murder me.
No, I didn't. I said airplane. What's your topic, Jeffrey?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I did a whole dissertation on Howard Hughes before we went live, and so I'm like really.
I heard it. It was.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm like reading this giant book on him, so I got all. It's like 700 pages, and I'm like,
maybe I'll read it to my kid.
And then Howard Hughes did more codeine. Good night, baby.
And then he made John Wayne do a Genghis Khan movie.
Oh my God. Don't get me started on that. All right, now the question. It's 1 foot in the geek and 1 foot not. At this point, okay, so Prince did the soundtrack to a Batman movie, right?
Is this going to be like 7 degrees of something?
Okay, no, it's an actual question.
Yeah, sure,
I want your actual feedback, Cap. Okay, at this day and age, if there was a singular artist that recorded a whole series of songs for like a superhero film, what would you want that to be? I'm still trying to figure out. I know the band, I just don't know what film.
You mean so like a current modern band?
Yes.
Oh. Wow.
I mean, REM could be like something like REM, even though they're broken up. Like.
Yeah. That puts me in quite a pickle. If somebody has a great one, go first, and I'm gonna do some noodling.
All right. Why don't we get
REM?
This
is a killer question, by the way.
Let's get REM to do the music for a Howard Hughes biopic. Bam, tying it together. You're welcome.
They already did Man on the Moon.
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
Howard Hughes wearing a cape with like 2 H's on his chest, so we make it a superhero movie.
Yeah, he fights people with his nails.
So we should have known, Howard Hughes. We should have known you were Batman. You're the only person with the money to be Batman. We should have known that.
And he's also Iron Man.
He also created the Rocketeer.
Did he really? Oh yes, of course. Yes, of course. Yeah. I remember that film. Yeah.
DJ, you had something.
Yeah, go ahead, DJ. You got one?
I don't have anything. No. That's
I
a very hard question, and I need time to think about that.
I don't have an actual answer, but I have like a composer I would love to see do a superhero movie.
Oh, that's cool.
I would love to see David Arnold do a Superman movie.
Yes.
Because I've been getting into Stargate SG-1, and I know he didn't do the music for the show, but he did the main theme, and I was listening to the theme and going, this could actually work as Superman.
Mhm.
Like it's enough to be John Williams-esque, but not actually copying the theme song.
Yeah, and it's got like just enough of the cheese factor without being obnoxious.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great theme. I'm
think I
thinking-
might have something.
I'm thinking Smashing Pumpkins, but I can't decide what film. Like I'd love to hear like their kind of like electronica sound for some kind of anti-hero movie, like maybe like a Suicide Squad or a Joker Harley Quinn thing, like something like that.
Tonight would actually go good with a montage of Harley Quinn and Joker, but also kind of the abuse too.
Yeah, sure. But I'm also, like I said, I'm
I
thinking
can
more
kind of picture it.
their electronic period, like songs like "I" and songs like that.
Yeah, I can kind of picture that. That actually might work.
I always have kind of thought of Smashing Pumpkins as like angry music for mellow people.
It is.
So
that's true. And I had that period
I
in my
would
life, so
kinda-
I still love them.
And or bald people.
Oh yeah, no, I think they're really cool. So okay, I went through this weird phase of my life. This was, of course, when I was in middle school, and I was like, "Oh man, '90s alt sucks. It's all about that '70s metal, man." But as I've gotten older, I've actually kind of grown into actually like stuff like REM and Smashing Pumpkins. It's like kind of this weird, more mood stuff, and I like that sort of stuff more than just look at its technical skill, but it's got no soul, like Megadeth or something. And
Yeah.
apologies to anyone who likes Megadeth. If you like music, like what you like. But there's a really neat thing. Like, I don't know, we haven't really gotten the sort of like mellow superhero movie. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I think that'd be kind of cool if you had like almost like an indie movie, sort of like New York style handheld cameras following a guy around who's like, "Yeah, I'm a superhero. What you gonna do? Smashing Pumpkins is my music." That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Maybe.
as if Chronicle was just one band.
Yes,
And it was Tom Waits.
Tom Waits is not a band. Tom Waits is a guy.
Guy.
Anybody else have a good one? I just know I'm going to turn this off later and be like, "Oh man, I came up with so much of a better one."
I got one.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not sure how good it would be, but I was torn between, and I've been kind of picturing it in my head since since seeing the show Legion.
Yeah.
I really want to see like a movie featuring him, but more like a movie of this. And I could picture someone like They Might Be Giants. Not really, but to me, a song like My Evil Twin, I mean, I feel like that kind of goes somewhat along with that. But truth be told, I would love to see like someone like Wilco just say, "Screw it. I apologize," and just do a soundtrack for something like Legion, because the singer for them, I'm not sure if this was visible, but Jeff Tweedy has a lot of has a few mental health, kind of like depression, severe migraines, and a lot of their music really reflects that. I feel like they could craft something where it's charismatic about like the kid at the heart of it, but very kind of distortion and just a lot of noise, but not like thrashing noise.
Yeah,
Cinematic.
just kind of ambient, but it makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah, they have like a 14-minute long song that I recommend no one listen to called Less Than You Think, which is, the point of the song is, I think making music is takes a lot less than you actually think, and that your mind's a machine, etc. and then it basically goes to machine-made. It just this feedback, and it just simmers for 10 minutes and ends, and that's a song. I feel like that would work with something like Legion in a way it doesn't on an album.
Are you familiar with Johan Johansson, the composer?
Unfortunately, no.
He did the music for Sicario and Arrival, and he does
I've been
a lot of
meaning
that
to see Sicario.
It's good. Benicio del Toro gave the best performance of 2015 in that movie. But there's in both, specifically Arrival and Sicario, there's a lot of kind of like ambient noises and crashing and like this weird sounds. It's kind of neat. Maybe that'd be a good pick.
I want to mention.
I will make a note of that. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I wanted to mention the comments real quick because a couple people are still kind of confused about what it is we're doing right now. That's completely fair.
I'm sorry.
So this is our regular Patreon live hangout with me, Captain Logan, and we don't usually broadcast these live, but somehow it got toggled live, even though I distinctly remember telling it not to do that. So that's why we're here right now, and I might, we're already half an hour in, but I might take a question here and there from the chat, especially if we run out of things while we're all talking. But somebody, but there were a couple other ideas for what Jeffrey was talking about in the chat. Mike Root says the Giants might be interesting for something like Ant-Man and the Wasp. I don't know about you, Jeffrey. I have a hard time seeing, and I wouldn't have said the Giants just because that's my obvious go-to. I wouldn't really see the Giants doing like a whole album for a movie or some kind of like a concept album like that. Because when they've tried that, like with their kids' albums, they've been real hit or miss. Like I would go to them for a song, but not a whole album. I don't think.
Maybe like with them, I'd imagine more the actual situation with REM and Man on the Moon, where they only made like 3 songs. Some of their songs were like made into like orchestra versions.
Yeah,
and
sure.
But besides that, it's all new material. And
Yeah,
I apologize.
You were going to specific tracks that like lyrically connected to or reminded you of certain movies, and like I could see retroactively taking a Giants album and turning it into a movie. I had this idea eons ago when I was in high school, back when dinosaurs were on the earth, and I was I thought of shooting Apollo 18 the musical, because I just in order, trying to craft an album, or trying to craft a story around the tracks from Apollo 18. I thought would be great, especially once you get to Fingertips and you have all these just real quick snippets of songs that they never wrote. It would be hysterical to just make that a song. And by the way, when they play that live, it's hysterical because they just play it all
I'm
together.
still waiting to hear that live.
It's great. I've heard it live one time, and it's fantastic. But anyway, so yes, folks in the comments, that's what we're doing.
I like the comment that says Red Hot Chili Peppers should do a Power Rangers movie. I don't care at all about Power Rangers, but if you get Red Hot Chili Peppers to do anything, I'll be there. So
I can't believe I just realized an obvious one. A Dazzler movie featuring the Bee Gees.
Get on it. Make it happen.
So, somebody left a comment and said a Dazzler movie that was completely a cappella soundtrack.
Get on that too.
I thought that was very funny. It's just the Dazzler movie, and then whoever you cast, you partly cast based on like not only her singing but also writing talent, and then you have the album, the Dazzler album made by Dazzler. It'd be a real Deadpool kind of situation, right? Where whoever played Dazzler would just pretend like she was Dazzler all the time, and she would write her own soundtrack, and that would be awesome.
And there's still one BG left, right?
There's 2.
So it can still be the Bee Gees, plural.
So get 2 of them. Put them in that film. Make it happen.
The two Bee Gees. Okay, let's move on, shall we? I'm sorry, I forget how to pronounce your name again, and I just don't want to mess it up.
You can just call me Jay.
What would you like to talk about this evening, sir? Did you bring a topic?
I did, but it was different because, of course, now we're on the main channel. So I decided to change it like DJ.
I'm sorry, these guys are never coming
It's
back.
okay.
Next time,
I didn't
it's gonna be
change it.
me.
I just said it.
It's gonna be me all by my lonesome, and that raised me like, what? We thought you might like make us talk to like 16 people, and we're not gonna have that. Sorry, go ahead, man.
So we got towards the end of 2017, and I was a little bit disappointed with The Last Jedi, like you and Eric, and I started to think, is this the most disappointing year ever for me for entertainment? Because I also got
Nowhere near it.
Wait.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
That was just a
I'm
thought that
going
popped
to
into
put
my
my
head.
listening hat on. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And I started to think about how we also got Iron Fist and Defenders and stuff like that. And I started to think, well, do I actually think that it is the most disappointing year for me? So, me being a crazy person, I decided to rate every single movie I have ever seen and then rank them by year, add up the average score for each year, and then compare it to see which year has the highest rating.
That's my kind of guy. Yeah.
I almost did the same thing on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Because someone.
And,
I interrupted.
it's okay, you go ahead.
No, you finish.
I was just gonna say, thankfully, it wasn't the lowest ranking.
What was?
Oh, I love this guy. So J-Ray, right? We started, dude. When you initially brought that up, I was gonna start with, dude, what are you talking about? And then like start listing crap from last year that was really rough, right? And then you got to the end of your spiel, and I decided I'm not even qualified to comment now.
So the lowest ranked year was 2010, which
Interesting.
average score of 5.63 out of 10, which is surprising considering my fourth favorite movie, Inception, came out that year.
Yeah, Inception is the movie that made me wanted to start making movies, but 2010 sucked. Like, Jonah Hex came out in 2010. Like, that's
Yeah, and Marvel's only film was Iron Man 2, and it's not great.
Yeah, we got Birdemic that year as well.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but intentionally bad movies don't count.
No, that
Really?
that wasn't intentionally bad. That guy,
Was it not?
the
I don't know
director of
anything about
movie
that. I don't know what I'm
director
talking
of
about
that
right now.
movie was completely serious. He thought he was making a really powerful movie with a great environmental message. He thought he was going to change the world.
Oh, so it's The Room again. Okay.
Yeah.
What movie was that?
Birdemic. Shock and terror.
But yeah,
That was a
So
major
I was
release?
just going to ask, have you guys got anything like that where like a distinct year or decade or era or whatever is like, well, this is by far my least favorite out of all of them, or
Yeah.
most favorite?
I have that with 2009 personally as being the worst because that was the year Dragon Ball Evolution came out. There was no MCU movies, and people can universally disagree, but I've always felt that the second Transformers movie was the worst in the series.
I don't
I
think
agree.
anybody disagrees with that.
Yeah, but most people are with you on that, and I'm probably still in the minority on like Watchmen is a great film. So yeah, for most people, 09's a real bad year. Like, yeah,
I'm with you. I love
that's totally fair.
I think that was 2008.
No, Watchmen's 09.
Watchmen.
It's March.
09.
Yeah, March of 09.
It was early that year. Yeah. No, that's not a great year. That's true.
I don't know if there are any other Terminator fans in the panel, but Terminator Salvation also came out that year.
Oh yeah. That was not good.
That was for me meh.
So when it comes to years, I started going to the movie religiously in 2014. So I saw 65 movies from 2014, and then in 2015 I saw 135, and then in 2016 I saw 180, and then last year I'm still getting around to seeing some, but I saw about 120. 2016 sucks. Like, oh my lord. And I'm not just saying that to get all like fire and fury and everything, but the thing is, oh crap, I can't say that anymore. So the thing is, when it comes to like January of 2016, what was I like that? Okay, here's the thing: January is never good, right? It's never good.
Yeah.
We never get any good movies in January. But we got a movie that was okay. The Finest Hours was okay, and then we got actually a good movie, Kung Fu Panda 3, and I was like, 2016 is going to be awesome. No, I mean, I don't like Batman v Superman. I think Suicide Squad is abundantly terrible. But that year, like, I mean, I'm looking at like Gods of Egypt and like, but it's not just like the amount of bad movies; it's the ratio to good movies. Because when it comes to like movies, I would recommend like what I recommend is like 6 or better is like what I just at the very least recommend to some level, maybe some 5s out of 10s, but there's only like 60 in 2016 that I would actually like recommend out of 180. It was really painful. 2017, by contrast, was a great year. I thought, anyways.
It was. Absolutely.
Blade Runner, Baby Driver, Logan, like all the way down. Like I even thought like Cure for Wellness was a lot of fun. It's not good, but I liked it a lot. And then I don't know. I like Valerian for what it was, but
yeah, me too. But like, and we've had Valerian arguments in this in this panel before. but like, Connor, I'm with you. Like even the couple of movies that I know I didn't care for that you liked a lot, they're not unwatchable. They weren't 2016 bad. Like, no. Last year was a pretty decent year overall. There were a couple of things that I expected to really, really like that I didn't, and there were a couple of things that I expected to hate that I loved. So like, that was amazing. Yeah, because Wonder Woman I like did not want to go to. I like almost had to drag myself to that movie, and then it was great. But yeah, it was a weird year. And then I still have this really weird relationship with Power Rangers, but
that's right, that came out. And then 2014 was also great, but I think everyone knows 2013 and 2014 are probably the best years of this decade in terms of movies go. Because like 2013 had like Wolf of Wall Street and just a bunch of great movies.
And as far as the superhero realm goes, because that's all I ever talk about, apparently. Yeah, no, 2014 gave us Days of Future Past.
Yeah, I love that movie. It's so good.
It's so good. But we digress. Yeah. So that was a brilliant topic. Thank you very much, man. And thanks for bringing your research. Thanks for doing all that research for us. We sure appreciate it.
I was going to say something.
Yeah, go ahead, DJ.
Connor, so Letterboxd, I've been seeing people posting these lists of their favorite movie from every year that they've been alive. Have you seen those?
No, that's cool.
So I started doing one, and then I ended up having to do basically what Jira did because I was I couldn't remember the movies from each year. So I went through and like made a, like, you know how you have like a 2016, 2017, 2015 list. So I did that for like every year that I've been alive. I've only seen like 30 movies a year, not like you see like 130. So it's I don't have the same ratio that Connor has, but that's basically what I did this last week. I didn't do the like decimal fractions like you did, but I basically did that last. So that's what I was going to say. I was doing the same thing this past week. And
why didn't I get the memo that we were supposed to do that for this show?
I don't know.
Yeah, nobody ever tells me what the homework is.
Next month, Cap. Next month.
Okay. Joe, what do you want to talk about, man?
Okay, I actually have 2 topics off the top of my head. The first one is simply I updated on my payment for Patreon, the one where I can request you anything for Omnibus.
Oh, cool. Thanks, man.
And I was wondering...
And thanks for telling that to the public on the channel, too. I really appreciate that.
What? I am not a total sellout on anything.
Dude, that's not a sellout thing. I would love to do every request people send us, but I don't have enough time for that. So,
anyway, is audio stuff like okay, like radio plays or something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, for Christmas I got a new Kindle, and I was able to listen to audiobooks and other stuff I downloaded, and I've been getting back into do Big Finish Doctor Who.
Yeah,
and I'm just wondering if that was okay. And I think I got 2 recommendations for that. The first one is Spare Parts. It's a really good one. It's a 5th Doctor story about how the Cybermen were created. Really depressing ending.
Cool. I wish I knew anything about the 5th Doctor. So
All
I'll
you
do
need to
some
know-
research.
Here's all you need to know. He's traveling with.
I won't do JRA level research, but I'll do research.
I'm just gonna give you the backup. Traveling, Fifth Doctor's the nice one. Has a celery on his lapel. He's half the basis for the 10th Doctor, and that's it. That's really all you need to know with 5.
Wait, so that's all you need to know is celery and kind of Tenet-like? All right.
And the one
Basically-
after 4.
Yeah,
Thanks.
he's
Thanks,
basic.
man.
Like best way to describe 5 is picture a more calmed down, less hyperactive 10. And
That
then the
sounds
other
really
one,
exciting.
the other one I'm excited. I would be happy to see you talk about is Chimes of Midnight. It's an
I've
8th
heard about
Doctor.
that one.
Yeah, it's an 8th Doctor adventure. That one you need to know is he's traveling with a woman named Charlie who, when they first met, he accidentally saved her from an incident. She was supposed to die. And through their early adventures, it's the whole universe is collapsing in on itself because she has to die. And this is the first story where we get to see parts of it where it involves a time loop, Christmas, and an Agatha Christie parody.
Cool.
That sounds.
So
That's
the-
what you put on the back of the box to sell it.
Actually, it is. They flat out say 'twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house that a creature is stirring, but something must be stirring. The twist, it also comes with a mind-blowing twist that I don't spoil here. So I guess I'm saying is which one sounds interesting to you?
Wow. Yeah. I think I'll try the depressing one.
But you
Spare
just
parts?
Because no one has ever said to me before, Cap, all you need to know about this is celery.
Okay, one of my favorite moments of Fifth Doctor explains the celery. Doctor, or it's Nissa asking it. Doctor, why do you need the celery? Well, when celery comes in contact with certain gases in the universe, it turns purple. And what do you do with it when it turns purple? I eat it, therefore it protects me. So that's the explanation of why he wears celery most of his entire time, because it protects him from various gases that could kill him.
Does he ever use it? Does he have more than one? Does he eat one and then he's
We
oh
nev-
crap, I don't have any more.
That I don't ever think that actually happens in the TV show, but I think it happens in the audios.
Oh, okay, right. The place where you can't see that happen, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm excited about that. So I will make sure I can get my hands on that, and
It's
then
very-
I will listen to that.
It's very easy. Big Finish site will let you buy these two for like $3 for download.
Oh, great, cool. Well, I will do that then, no problem. I don't think I'll have time to do it before the next omnibus, but it'll happen on the one after that.
That's okay.
Because we are shooting that on Sunday, and I've still got a bunch of wild cards to read for an interview I'm doing at Planet Comic Con next weekend. I'm talking to Melinda Snodgrass, who was one of the script editors on Star Trek Next Generation and wrote Measure of a Man, and has been editing wild cards forever. And never got into that, and so I have a lot of homework to do for that. But at least someone told me what the homework was. So I'll be able to get through that. Okay. Did you say you had another topic? Because we've got like 12 minutes, so I got still time. Some way, Joe. Give us a topic, man.
Okay. The other one is did you get my Star Trek book I sent you?
I did. Yes. Thank you for that.
Okay. I'm about to send you a couple. I was just wondering if you got it, and I was about to send you a couple more.
Cool. Thanks, man.
These are because I'm making some space, and since I now got a Kindle, I don't need this stuff anymore. This one's interesting. It's a Star Trek Enterprise book, basically about the origins of the Kobayashi Maru.
Yeah, I knew about that one, but I don't have that yet. So that's cool.
Okay.
Thanks.
And then the other one's I don't have the with me right now, but it's Battle for Beta Z, which kind of sets up the DS9 relaunch.
Yeah.
Basically,
cool.
It's basically what a Star Trek Dominion War movie should have been instead of Insurrection. Short plot.
Because that wasn't a Dominion War movie at all.
It took
was
place.
boring.
It took place during the Dominion War.
It did, but it was also boring.
Yes. Basically, it's called Battle for Beta Z. It's all about how the Enterprise E crew take back Beta Z from the Dominion, and it's a very good Troy-focused story.
No, that's cool that they did that. The books are obviously a really nice place to kind of fill in between the range drops because Beta Z, excuse me, ends up just being a footnote.
Yeah,
in DS9, where it's like, oh no, they took Beta Z, and I'm like, isn't that like really kind of important place? And we know people from there that we care about. And no, we're not gonna do any character drama about Beta Z. No, all right.
It just makes me think. It makes me laugh. Now you're making me think of that bit from SF Debris when it was like the episode where what was the hologram jet lounge singer?
Vic Fontaine.
Vic basically gets taken over by another program, and they work together, and they're doing the slow walk, and we just see Quark looking at them weirdly, and SF Debris goes, "So, how's that war going on?" Because I took over Troy's planet, you know. Anyway, it's a great book, and the other one I have with me is the Genesis Wave 2-parter. It's a 4-parter, but I only have the first 2 because that's the only parts interesting.
No, that's awesome. Thank you. Because I have read those, but it was years ago and I don't have them. For whatever reason,
good.
I have book 4 in hardcover. I don't know why that is. I don't know how I landed that, but I don't have those.
Okay, then.
I read them right out of high school, back when dinosaurs were just starting to not walk the Earth anymore. Mm-hmm.
Okay, then that's it for me.
Just after the asteroid. Remember that the asteroid? Okay. So we got 10 minutes. Any other cool topics? Anything anybody wants to talk about? And we'll take some questions or topics from the audience too, if anybody's still with us. I haven't seen a lot of comments in the last few minutes. I suspect because there's no Doctor Who or Star Trek fans here or here besides me and Joe.
That is correct.
So. Joe and I would like to apologize for putting everybody to sleep.
While you're looking for questions, I would say, Cap, that there's a movie that I saw that I think you specifically would like, and I don't know why I thought of you considering the subject matter. It's I, Tonya. It is the movie about Tonya Harding, and it stars Margot Robbie, who's Harley Quinn, and Sebastian Stan, who's Winter Soldier.
Oh, really?
And she plays Tonya Harding, and Sebastian Stan plays her husband/ex-husband, and Allison Janney plays her abusive mother, and it's really good. I really liked it, and I think you specifically would like it for whatever reason. Now, maybe it's just the Portland native in me. It's like, oh my god, they said like Clackamas County. I've never heard that in a movie before. But I really liked it. It's kind of got a bit of that pseudo docu style where they're interviewing, like the characters are in, like the actors are in character being interviewed about events in the past, and then you jump back and forth, and
That's interesting.
and it's from like 3 to 4 different people's point of perspective, and they're all unreliable narrators, so you're trying to piece together what really is going on, and it's a really good movie. Its production values are noticeably on the lower side, but I think that the story itself brings through, and Margot Robbie's excellent in it. Any other year, and she'd probably win an Oscar for this, but she's nominated, and she deserves it.
Yeah,
I would be excited to see her in something else. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just want to say I love how he like explained that to you through comic book movies. Like every actor he gave like you wouldn't understand if he didn't say it.
I really wanted to interrupt where it's like, yeah, the actors playing the characters get interviewed. And I just want to interrupt going, oh, like that failed Justice League pilot.
So but Sebastian Stan's an actor that I've not really been impressed with in anything I've seen. I mean, I like the ideas about Bucky in the Marvel movies. I just don't like him as a character because he's just a vessel for ideas. But he's really good in I, Tonya. Like he's really, really good. Again, any other year he'd probably be nominated for Best Supporting Actor at the Oscars, but yeah, he wasn't even nominated.
He disappears. His voice is completely different. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's got that weird mustache and like the big glasses, and kind of talks like this the whole movie. It's really good. So,
but he's really scary though, even though he talks like that. It's weird. It's a really good performance.
It is.
I've been on a real biopic kick lately, so that sounds really good. And not just because it has actors that are in superhero movies.
I was saying that more for the audience. If people don't know the name Sebastian Stan.
No, you're right. I wasn't even thinking that until CJ said that. It's like we gotta speak to Cap on his level. You guys, Connor is gonna come here to Kansas and see me. I'm really excited about it. Is that still happening, Connor?
Yeah. I don't know if Rasco's going to be able to come
What?
because
What?
plane tickets on that weekend are really, really expensive. It's like at least for my region, it's the start of spring break, so I don't know. But yeah, I'm saving up. I got my tax return, so I got the last of my plane tickets.
Well, I mean, if you guys need to wait and pick a different weekend or something, I totally understand. I mean,
But
I'd love to
I
have
can't.
you.
I
I'd love to have you
can't,
by yourself, Connor. But I'm really excited to see Rasco again too. So
I know. That's why I brought him as motivation to have me around. Because hey guys, Rasco, I brought Rasco with me. I'm here too, guys. But Rasco, look at him.
no, Connor, we like you. Okay.
Okay. All right, I'll take it.
I was just joking. Nobody ever believes anything I say. Wanderer in the comments here. Cap, what's your favorite season of Buffy? My favorite season of Buffy is 3. Yeah, with the evil mayor and stuff. Yeah, I haven't thought about Buffy in a while. Yes, it's easy and Faith. Yes, of course. No, that's indisputably. That's my favorite. And then 4 gets weird. And then 5 is unwatchable. And then 6 is more watchable, but it's also really weird. Anyway.
No need to do a Buffy video now.
I didn't say anything about 7. I said nothing about 7 whatsoever.
Okay.
Or 1 or 2. Sorry. I'm sorry. Someone was talking, but I don't know who it was.
It was me. I was just say I agree. Season 3 is my favorite.
Yep. Well, that was rousing. Anything else anybody wants to talk about? We have 4 minutes of playtime.
I really want to talk to you about Bates Motel, but this is not the place for it.
This is not the place for it. No, we can do that a little bit later. Yeah.
I really want to talk to you about it because I just watched it this week too. Or this
Did you really?
Week,
oh yeah,
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Can we do that? No, let's do that. Oh my God. Because what? Yeah.
we just finished the last season.
Is what? Okay. Last call. Does anybody else have anything else you want to talk about or say? Now seize the day. That was profound, man. Really.
Thank you.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say you could say anything. He's just like, all right, I've been holding this back for 10 minutes. Nailed it.
I think we should do it the way that what was it? The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson and just end it with an awkward pause.
But we've had plenty of those already. Yeah. Ultron 32.
I got a dumb thing I could say.
Okay, Jeffrey, go right ahead, buddy.
Have you ever watched Legion at all?
No, not yet. I still need to.
Okay.
Why was it dumb?
That was a dumb thing.
Oh, I thought that was like a setup for your dumb thing where like if we didn't know that, we would not understand what and then you're like, well, I guess I can't say my dumb thing.
And now it's even dumber.
No, that was and now it's dumber still.
He did have a follow-up. He just had to say yes.
Ultron 32 in the comments wants to know if I'm watching or I'm going to watch Dirk Gently. I might at some point. It wasn't a priority for me because I read part of the source material and was sadly bored by it. I love Douglas Adams, but I could not get through that book. I just didn't care. And I mean, I know they took major creative license in that show, so I might like the show better. But I was kind of bored with that book, so I couldn't get excited about watching that show.
Speaking of Douglas Adams, that just reminded me. Looking on my Kindle, I found out they're about to release a book, Doctor Who book, a script based off a script he written, and it was a failed attempt for a movie that later became one of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy books.
Yeah. That's cool. I bet that'll be good. I mean, he wrote some good Doctor Who, so. Well, folks, we're gonna go ahead and get going. But thanks a lot for watching, even though we didn't invite you. But YouTube did, even though we didn't. mean for that to happen, but we were really glad to have you anyway. And in the meantime, we will be back on Patreon without it being live, probably in a couple 3 weeks. We've got to do this more often because we're still behind by a couple. But anyway, thanks guys. I appreciate you. I had a good time. I hope you did as well. I was Captain Logan. This was Connor Nielsen.
Bye-bye.
And I don't know any of these other people's last names, and they might not want that released. So DJ,
Hey, see ya.
different hat Jeffrey, who might be from another dimension. I'm not sure.
It's patron patron to you, Cap.
Jayra, who I hope comes back. It was so much fun talking to you.
Yeah, I'll come back. Go support the massive Big Mac that was released. If you guys have that in the US,
The massive what?
Big Mac. They released like a double Big Mac. I guess.
Wait, we're supposed to support the giant.
No.
Oh, hell, the giant Big Mac.
Dude, I don't have any problem with anyone else eating that, but I hope you don't mind. I'm not eating that. That's not going to happen. I have given up fast food entirely. That is not going to happen.
That's like a week's worth of calories for Cap.
But boy, 2 weeks ago, or like 8 weeks ago, I would have been really excited about that. And last but certainly not least, Joe.
I also go by Joe Jira, and I gotta say, it's morphin' time. Dang it!
Oh man, you ended a show not morphing. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. Sure appreciate it. I am Captain Logan. We'll see you again down the road.